I'm sure a lot of our viewers would like to dive further into the Benghazi controversy, but let me move on to one of the main reasons why the president went on this trip, and that is to talk about the crisis in Ukraine. We heard the president say during his news conference that Russia has the chance to return to the lane of international law.
I don't think those were his precise words.
Those were his not.
I don't think those are his precise words.
Well, that they have the opportunity to do that. But I guess what I'm curious about, and I know we're talking about this before the president may have an encounter with Vladimir Putin, is he letting the Russian president off the hook here?
Absolutely not. The international community, led by the United States, has been absolutely clear that Russia's behavior has been contrary to international law, as the president said repeatedly, including just yesterday. The annexation of Crimea was illegal. It is not recognized by any rational country or the majority of countries in the international community. We have rallied the countries of the world to impose costly sanctions on Russia for its actions, and we continue to make clear that if they are actively involved going forward in destabilizing Ukraine, there's a very real prospect of additional sanctions and pressure. And what the president has done over the course of this week in meeting with our G7 colleagues is to come together around a mutual understanding of what our shared posture will be and has been. And by holding together our Western partners in Europe and our allies around the world, we have successfully isolated Russia and exacted real costs for its behavior in Ukraine.
And it seems every one of these foreign trips that he's had over the last couple of months, there have been these questions about his foreign policy. He described it as, well, sometimes you hit singles and doubles and you may occasionally get a home run. A lot of critics on the left and the right describe that as uninspiring. Does the president want to have an inspiring foreign policy?
Jim, did you listen to his speech today? Did you listen to his speech in Warsaw? This is about American leadership, and President Obama is deeply, deeply committed to America playing its unique role of leadership in the world, a role that no other country can match. Here we are at the 70th celebration, commemoration of D-Day, side by side with our oldest ally in the world, France, on a hallowed ground where over 9,000 Americans are buried. This embodies American leadership and our commitment to a Europe and a world that's whole and free, a democratic future, a future where the dignity of every man and woman is respected. That's what we stand for, that's what our leadership is about, and that's why we have the greatest network of alliances and partnerships that the world has ever seen, including most profoundly here in Europe, where NATO and the United States stand side by side as we have for generations.
But you acknowledge, though, that these questions have hung over all of these recent trips. Do you bear any responsibility for that? Has he been frustrated with you about this?
Jim, you know, critics will be critics. I think we have the obligation in leading foreign policy.
But some of the criticism has been fair. Hasn't he struggled somewhat in explaining?
Jim, I don't think the criticism has been fair. I think the fact of the matter is we're living in complex times. There are many different challenges that the United States and the world faces, but our leadership is unmatched. Our role is indispensable. There is no other country on the planet with our military might, our economy, our diversity, our resources, our growing energy independence, and our alliances. And everywhere we go, and in each of these trips that you've referred to, we have met and stood side by side with allies who look to the United States not only for partnership and security, but for the moral leadership to ensure that we're living in a world where our values are upheld and where our security is maintained. So you may see one version of this. I'm sitting in the meetings and watching and seeing the interaction with the leaders and the people that we're engaging with, and I can tell you that they have confidence in President Obama, they have confidence in the United States and its leadership, and without that, they acknowledge they would be much, much less secure.
And you talked about D-Day and how the U.S. and its allies stood up against aggression during World War II. Let me ask you about Syria. Do you think you're going to look back? Do you think this administration is going to look back and think that perhaps you've missed an opportunity, a window of opportunity to stop Bashar al-Assad and what has been an atrocity in that country?
Jim, we all are deeply concerned and heartbroken by the suffering in Syria. And that's why the United States has been the single largest contributor of humanitarian assistance, providing over $1.7 billion. That's why the United States has ramped up its support for the moderate, vetted opposition, providing lethal and non-lethal support where we can to support both the the civilian opposition and the military opposition.
Will we see training of those
We're
rebels?
continuing to ramp that up, as the President indicated at West Point, and we want to work with Congress to be able to do that. But we're also working very importantly with our allies and partners in the region, trying to help the neighbors of Syria, countries like Jordan and Iraq, Turkey and Lebanon, who are also suffering the consequences of the spillover of the conflict, to be able to protect their borders and protect their people. We're working on the counterterrorism challenge because, as we have seen, there are increasingly emanating from Syria the threat of terrorism to the neighbors and beyond. So all of these are concerns that we have. That's why our efforts are increasing and why we'll remain very much engaged both in trying to support the Syrian people and trying to support the Syrian opposition.
And standing on this ground here, the weather is almost as majestic as the ground we're standing on. What lessons do you draw from this anniversary?
The most profound lesson is that Americans have always been willing to sacrifice blood and treasure for what is right. We had the opportunity to honor those veterans who are here today, some in their 90s. My father's age when he passed, he also served in World War II. I think all of us were very moved by their sacrifice and reminded of the sacrifice of our men and women of the 9/11 generation, who also were here represented today, who are serving and have served at great risk and have done so with tremendous commitment. And it makes us all, I think, it certainly makes me exceedingly proud.
They've been a great generation too. Madam Ambassador Susan Rice, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jay.
your time.